Hello everybody, it's Rachel here at Cloudy Hands Crafts, and today I've got an idea that I've seen in card making a lot and I wanted to translate that into junk journaling. I thought it would go well, so here is what I came up with. So I've just been using some vintage style papers with some vintage style images, and here it is. So it opens up like a camera shutter, and I thought that was quite fun. Makes it just a bit more interesting to open something up and have a little look at a photograph inside. And then obviously I've decorated it as well with some stitching and a bit of lace. Okay, so the first thing you'll need to do is cut a piece of card to size 16 centimeters by 10 centimeters. So it's going to be 10 centimeters tall. Take that little sliver off, and then 16 centimeters wide. I'll replace that with my scoring tool, turn it inwards, right, and then I need to score at 4 centimeters from that edge, and turn it round, score 4 centimeters from that edge. There will be different sizes that you could make of this, but I did have a bit of trial and error and there were a few errors, so you've just got to be careful with the way that you do it. Just play around and find out what size will work, because I don't have the logic skills to figure it out. Right, so let's fold those flaps inwards and burnish them so that they get a nice strong crease, and then you'll have something that looks like this. Your next piece of card is going to be the aperture itself. This needs to be 5 centimeters wide by 10 centimeters tall. And you'll have something that looks like this. Now, because I am not too worried about perfect circles and perfect edges, I just sketched out the shape of the circle I wanted. So I looked at the photograph that I was going to use and then just decided on an aperture that would be big enough, and I just sketched it out with a pencil, pierced it and then cut through. So I'm going to do the same with this. So if I just place that somewhere near the middle, think about where their heads are going to be and then where I need the aperture to be, and then I don't need it to be a perfect circle. You might want it to be. Use a compass or something to draw around, or a paper punch. So I think that should be about right. I'll just square that off a little bit. I'm going to be inking, and I'm not worried too much about these pencil marks because I'm going to be inking and stitching, so that'll just cover that up. So you can just use a tiny pair of scissors to cut it out. And that should be perfect for the picture. Lovely. The only eraser that I could find was this for my son's stash, so I don't know if it's going to be much good. Feels a bit too plasticky to be any good. Right, it's at least blurred those pencil lines, and of course we'll be adding ink to the edges anyway. So now you need to cut 2 pieces of card to 5 centimeters this way by 7 centimeters this way. Just cut that little edge off to make them equal. We've got the 2 pieces, and then I'm just going to put them back to back so that they're going to be symmetrical. I'm going to measure 5.5 centimeters. Sorry, I don't have, this ruler is massive, so I don't have much space on my desk because I'm going to crash it into the wall. I'm going to do it diagonally like that. Come on, stay together. Okay, so we want 5.5 centimetres down the edge. I'm going to mark 5.5 centimetres that edge. 5.5 centimetres that edge. So I'm working on the back of the card here. Pencil line to the corner, that corner to the dot. Line them up, and then we're going to cut out the outer triangle there. One. Two. There we go, and now we'll have the two pieces which will overlap like that. So now I'm just going to ink all of those edges, so I'll get on and do that and then come back to you. Now what I did with this piece here was I stuck down some pieces of lace onto that piece, and then I went and stitched them all individually. So I stitched the aperture piece and the outside piece separately. But what I'm going to do now is just throw them all together for you to show you how it works, because I'll have to go to work shortly, so I'm running out of time to show you. I do get very engrossed in what I'm doing and then totally forget about time whenever I'm crafting. So let's just stick the photograph as centrally as possible. And it's important to stick the edges down correctly, so you don't want any lift at the edges. I got these photographs from Lavender Blue Journals, and I will leave a link in the description to those. So now we need to stick this down, the aperture piece gets stuck down, so we're going to put a line of glue at the top, line of glue at the bottom, and just glue that into position over the top of the photograph, keeping it quite equidistant between those two fold lines. That's it. So that looks quite nice already. But then to have these pieces in, we're going to slot them under. And what we want to do is try and get them so that they lie like that, so you have one diagonal line going across. Obviously wait till all of your pieces are dry before you assemble, because you don't want to accidentally stick the corners in glue and have everything stuck down. But just for quickness, I'm doing it while it's wet, so excuse me if it doesn't work, I do apologise. Right, and then we're going to keep those equally distant, centralised like that, and then all you're going to do is fold these flaps over so that they align. You should be scoring them really to make it go easily, but I forgot to do that bit. Just fold those over, squash them down. And then I'm going to glue those flaps that you've just folded over, and then we're going to close the cover onto them. Repeat that with the other side. Fold the flap down and then allow that to dry. Right, and then when you open that up, time for the big reveal. It opens the little aperture. That's literally all I've got time for today, guys, so thank you very much for watching. I hope I haven't rushed through the end of that too much, and I will see you again next time. Please make sure you let me know if you've tried this and how it looks. Can you link photographs? Can you link Instagram posts on YouTube videos? I can't remember, but if you can, give it a try, and I would love to see your creations. There we have it. See you again soon. Bye.